Hey YouTube, what's going on? Fist of Legend here. I wanted to do a quick update video on my Springfield range officer. I took it to the range again today and put another 200 rounds through it. This time I used Winchester white box, 230 grain ball ammo. And I actually had a couple failure to feeds today. However, I'm pretty sure that I can chalk it up to the magazine. Immediately when I finished that magazine, I put a little scratch on the bottom of it just to kind of mark this one, and when I ran the next magazine through I had no issues, so I reloaded them, ran them through again, and again this one with the scratch I had another failure to feed. Both times a quick tap in the rack and it was right back to, you know, flowing smooth, but I'm pretty sure I can chalk it up to this. We'll see what happens. I only took the 2 factory magazines with me today. I wanted to kind of break the magazines in and see how they function. I've got a couple Chip McCormick's and a couple Wilson Combat magazines for some of my other 1911, so I will probably take those with me the next time I go. So far to date I have a total of 450 rounds through this and 2 failure to feeds. Alright, another issue I noticed, and I would actually really appreciate some feedback on this if anybody else has experienced this. This is a first for me. I got some chafing or some wear on my trigger finger at the bottom of it right there, and I've never had that happen before, so I want to kind of investigate that and see exactly what it is I'm doing. However, let me get this camera to focus. I did notice after the irritation showed up, because I could feel it, you know, about I guess 100 rounds in, I was like, man, what's going on with my finger? And I noticed that some of the skin was getting kind of ripped off a little bit, and I'm noticing this little gap at the bottom. I'm going to put my finger on the trigger. You see this firearm is empty, but where the chafing is right kind of where that gap is. But I'm not sure. That's about where my finger goes on the trigger. That's about where the pad of my finger lays, so that the bottom of it ends up being right down where this little gap is. So I want to check that out. I may need to readjust my hand positioning. Like I said, I've got quite a few handguns and I've never experienced that before. That's a first for me. So if anyone else has had that issue, definitely let me know about that. I'd be interested to hear what your experience has been. And still, I don't like this slide release lever. I just don't like it. I definitely, that's something, as I said in one of my other videos about this gun, I do want to change the sights out, and I really want to change this magazine release lever. I'm sorry, slide release lever right here. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's a little bit too short, and I noticed issues with that again today. Alright, I couldn't take my camera with me today because the range I went to does not allow cameras. I was pulling a little to the left with this gun today, so that's another thing I'm going to need to address. I'm going to need to get used to shooting this gun. I've got a couple of I was grouping nice, but I was pulling to the left, and that's an issue of obviously trigger management on my part. But as you'll see, yeah, got a flyer way over here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a tight little group, and then here's a series of groups. And again, you'll see I was pulling to the left. Not a lot of low shots. Everything was grouping pretty nicely. I should have gone through and marked each group, but I was basically trying to take a section and fire in sections. So I should have marked each one. But yeah, so the work I've been doing on my flinching is definitely paid off, because my groups were pretty nice in terms of not a lot of low flyers or anything, but I was pulling a little to the left, as you see. And I have another target. from today. Again, nice groups, but again, pulling a little to the left. But again, you'll see the little clusters I was trying to focus on. A couple errant shots up here. But yeah, so far so good. I definitely need to spend some more time with this particular firearm. There's a couple issues I need to investigate a little further, namely the 2 failure to feeds. But I have to repeat, I really think it was a magazine issue. And what's going on with why this trigger is wearing out my finger right down there, whether that's an issue that with the way error on my part, or if I'm going to have to send this in to get addressed a little bit. What I got, where is it? I just purchased this GoPro HD camera with a chest mount, a chest harness, so that I can wear this while I shoot. And it came with a whole bunch of different attachments, so I can set it up in varying places in the gun port, so I can kind of really take apart my technique and how I'm holding the gun, how my trigger control is. I can really kind of take a good look at that, and also I can post up some good range videos with this. Unfortunately, the range I was at today, I wasn't allowed to use this. No cameras. A very strict policy at the range I was at today, but I'm going to a range next week where I can use this, so I'll definitely get those up so you guys can check out this gun in action. Alright, that's it, YouTube. I just wanted to do a quick update on my Springfield range officer. So far, still so good. Just a couple of issues I need to check out. I'm really thinking that I'm going to need to maybe get this trigger looked at a little bit, but it could be an error on my part, so we'll see what's going on. Anyone else ever dealt with this issue? Let me know what the culprit was. Was it user fault? Was it human error, or was it an error in the trigger? This is my first Springfield firearm, so I'm not sure if it's an issue with that, or like I said, if it's me. But I think I repeated myself at least 7 times in this video, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. As always, God bless and be safe out there, YouTube. Alright.